Hello and good afternoon if you're in the UK. My name is Mike Peters and this is my stroke show. Don't you know I've had a stroke, and this is where I interview various people, and today I have a stroke survivor and a caregiver. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Janice and John. Hello.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Hi, John.
Hi, Mike.
So first of all, can you tell me where you are, please?
Keys.
We're in North Shields, which is just outside Newcastle. Yeah, down by the coast. And the river, the mouth of the River Tyne. We are Geordies and proud, aren't we, John?
Yes, we are.
You're proud to be a Geordie? He's got his tune hat.
I am.
So Naomi says, good morning.
Good morning, Naomi.
Good morning.
It's
I can't remember where it's from.
4 p.m. here.
Where, sorry?
It's 4 p.m. here. I don't know where Naomi's from. Salute knows all of those addresses, but I don't.
No, I know a few. Right, let's get started. Can you see the comments?
No.
There's a comment.
No.
Oh, so your story, please. Yours and John's story from the very beginning. Not from birth, just from the, you know.
I was going to say, how far back? We met in our 40s through a mutual friend. So when I met John, he was in his 40s, and by 35, he had had 5 heart attacks, a bypass, open heart surgery. So when I met him, he wasn't quite disabled, but he did have heart failure. So, but we managed, we had good holidays and had a good life. We got married in 2004. We went to Las Vegas to get married.
Yes, we did.
And that was much better than I thought it was going to be. Because when you say Las Vegas, you think a little bit tacky maybe, but it wasn't. Oh, and there we are, John.
Yeah.
The Chapel of the Flowers. It was actually very nice. We had a really nice minster.
At least you wasn't dressed as Elvis.
No, he wanted to go as James Bond, so he was halfway there with the dress. But I said no to the showgirls because they were all over 6 foot. And I would have just had the top of my head in the photographs. So I said no, because John's actually over 6 foot. So I thought, when we get the photographs back, you'll just see the top of my head. So
Jerry, who's
there's
from
Jerry. Hi, Jerry.
Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
I remember.
Jerry, don't you, John?
Yes,
There's Jerry.
So,
hey now, it's Brad.
Hey now, Brad.
hi, Brad.
Hey now. So we had a really nice time. We were there for nearly 2 weeks. So we had the
You had to be there 2 weeks.
honeymoon, and then we came back, and John said, I thought I was just going for a holiday. And I said, no, you knew you were getting married. So he came back quite shocked. But he knew he was having a holiday. So everything was going along swimmingly until 2012. And then that was, in the words of the Queen, our annus horribilis. In June, I slipped in the bathroom and I snapped my ligaments which hold your kneecap in place. So my kneecap was up my thigh, got pulled up my thigh.
I'm trying to stop you seeing that.
And John was trying to stop me from seeing that my kneecap had disappeared. He was very good. He called for the ambulance and coped really well. And they mended that. I was in hospital for a week. I was in a wheelchair with a big leg splint on. So when I came home, John was, as the weeks went on, he was actually using my equipment that I'd been given. He was getting weaker and weaker and having really bad panic attacks at night. So I was ringing an ambulance because obviously you think the heart. Ringing an ambulance, they were taking him in, they were checking the heart, everything was fine, and then they were sending him home again. I couldn't go because I was in a wheelchair myself. So I was sending him on his own. And then they were just looking at the heart. So that went on for about 3 weeks. And then they told us it was a frozen shoulder that was happening with him, or migraine, which I think a lot of people have been told that a stroke can be migraines. So on the Friday night that the Olympics were on, and do you remember the Bolt? He used to do that with his arms up like that. John tried to do that one night and he couldn't do it. And I thought, there's something not right here. So I thought about it just being the migraine. John went to bed. He did have a really bad headache. So I said, John, just try and sleep it off. It's a migraine. But I woke up through the night to really terrible noises. And I thought he was just panicking again. But when I looked at his face, I knew it was then a stroke. So that was at the end of August.
So why did you know, Janice?
Because his face was droopy. He couldn't talk. And I had actually, you know, the face, arms, speech, and time to ring an ambulance. He couldn't talk. His left arm was weak, but he could still use it. But his face had drooped quite a lot, and he couldn't talk at all. So we rang an ambulance, and when the ambulance driver came, he had actually been before for John, and you thought it was just another panic attack. So they treated John as if he'd had a panic attack. They made him walk down the stairs, and they just weren't helpful at all. He got John to reach out for a bunch of keys, and because John could do it, he said he hasn't had a stroke, and that was the ambulance driver. So they took him off to hospital. I knew he'd had a stroke. You could see the fear in John's eyes. He was very fearful. So I sent him off to hospital, and I rang John's dad and said, look, we need to get to the hospital this time. You know, he can't come home again like that. So we got to the hospital, and you could tell as soon as you walked in what it was. But because he could use his left arm, he was touching his nose and using left arm. They just didn't believe that it was a stroke. They still were going down the migraine, even though his face was droopy. But they put him on a stroke ward, just in case. And that was a Saturday. On the Sunday night, he waved goodbye with his left arm. He still couldn't speak very well, but he waved goodbye. And on the Monday, he went to the bathroom. The nurses left him, and he fell off the toilet. So they say that's when he had his big stroke. So on the Monday, when I went to the hospital, he was completely different.
Sorry, Janet. Salute says, Tom and I love all of you, Janice, John, and Mike. I love
Oh,
Salute.
thank you, Salute.
And
thank you, Salute. We love you too.
Jim Survivor Poet Smith. Do you know him?
Yes, that's Jim runs a stroke group, and he was one of our first friends that we joined his group.
Yes.
And we became friends because he actually wrote a book of poetry as well. You're very good friends. So he was one of the first people to support us.
So
very
Brad
nice.
Says, hi, John, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
And
so I'm sorry we can't get, we're both in this picture. It's not very. Can you
Paul Cummings says, hi, Janice and Mike, Mr. Nowhere Man. Paul Cummings.
Mr. Nowhere Man and everywhere. Hi, Paul. Hi, Paul.
They're probably all stuffed today after Thanksgiving.
Yes, they'll all have had turkey and all the trimmings. And, yeah.
So Sharon Dunbar says, Janice and John, you are such amazing people.
Sharon is our neighbour, and she's been really good with us, really helpful.
Oh, well
when
done,
John has fallen on the ground, Sharon's partner has come up come over and help to get him off the ground. So really nice carers and nice people.
Because now,
We're very lucky.
If you
We're
phone
very
the
lucky
ambulance
with.
to come and pick you up, they charge you now.
Yeah, we'd never. We've got it's something called Care Call. You pay £6 a month, and you call them, and they can come and get you up. So they've done that a few times, because I tried to teach John how to roll to get up, but I think he was definitely affected both sides of the body. The right side is weak as well, but not as weak as the left. And I just didn't, because he was over 6 foot, now only 5, manoeuvring him, I didn't feel safe doing that. So I thought it was better to let the professionals do that.
I fell once trying to have a shower. Stupid, I know, but I just wanted to try. And I fell in front of the door, so my wife couldn't get in. And in the end, my boy dragged me on a towel because it was a slippy floor. So he pulled me.
Pulled you along. And did he manage to get you up?
He sort of threw me on the stairs. Well, he didn't throw me. He lifted me onto the stairs.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
It must be awful to be on the ground and not be able to get back up again. So I can see it from John's point of view as well. So John can tell you what it's like on the ground. It's not very nice, is it? What did you say, John?
Horrendous.
He says it's a horrendous feeling, kind of being stuck on the ground, but it's trial and error, isn't it?
I think
if
it's
you don't
try, how long you're going to be there as well. You know.
Yeah.
I was just lying there thinking, you stupid idiot, trying to have a shower without anybody there. But you know,
you have to try, or it's trial and error. And if you don't try, you don't know. As long as you're not badly hurt.
I've got new bones now.
Our lowest point was when we were coming back from being out in a car, and John went to get out of the car, and it was snowy, and he slipped. So while I was transferring him, I landed up on the ground in the snow. Because it was so slippy, we couldn't get him up. I tried towels and everything, and we waited over an hour for the care call that night. So John was lying in the snow for an hour, and that was quite traumatic. I even brought the hoist outside to see if we could do it, but we just couldn't get a grip on anything because it was snowy. And I should have put a towel down for him to get out of the car. I didn't think really. So his foot just went under him. So by the time they came, he was like a snowman lying in the ground. But it wasn't very nice, was it, John? No.
As Sulu said, Tom slipped off his wheelchair twice yesterday.
Oh, no. No.
He's Houdini, you see.
He's Houdini. He tries to get up, doesn't he? And yeah, luckily John doesn't try that. We've been lucky in that respect. Because he said, tell Mike, John.
I know what will happen. I'll be end up on the ground.
He said if he tried that, he would end up on the ground, so he doesn't do it. So we're quite lucky in that respect.
Well, he definitely wouldn't do it if Salud was about.
No. She's a tough cookie. I'm frightened of Salud.
And me. Centre.
Centre, John. It's funny because when she's doing the show and she says centre, John gets in the centre. But I must say, Tom has helped John an awful lot.
Yeah.
Because he uses his learning hand and his teaching hand and learning hand. And John watches Tom do the exercises and he copies Tom. So he has come a long way, haven't you? He's come a long way using that from Tom. So Tom's done amazing for John, you know.
And Paul Cummings says, Janice, you are a brave and courageous.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Thank you. But I don't think I'm just doing what I need to do, you know. You don't think about it really. You just do what you need to do for John. John's just said in my ear, you do it well, Janice. So I must be doing okay.
You do.
Can we ask John how he was affected mentally, please.
John, how are you affected mentally by your stroke?
I don't quite know. I was just that stunned at first.
Can you hear John?
No.
Right. He said he was stunned at first. And then what happened after that?
I thought I was going to die.
He thought he was going to die when he had his stroke. So what made you think you weren't going to die?
Well, as I lived longer and longer, as it went on and on,
You felt better.
I felt better, yeah.
As time went on, John started to feel better within himself. But he used to cry a lot all the time. He still gets very emotional. His emotions have been affected.
I cried for 5 months every day in hospital.
Yeah. That's what happened with John. You cried, didn't you?
I didn't. I don't know why.
You don't know why. Well, you had a shock, John, basically. It's a shock, isn't it?
Well, it's, I asked for something to help with my mental state, and the doctor said, why? A stroke does not affect your mental state. And I said, it's a bereavement. You've lost half your body.
Yes, definitely.
So
it's definitely a bereavement.
Yes.
Because you've lost that person you were. You've lost part of your body, It's definitely a bereavement. And I'm bereaved for somebody who was still here. It's a bereavement of the physical and the mental part of your body. It's, you're bereaved for the life that you had as well. You've got to make a new life.
Jerry Ward says he still cries. It's just a wuss, Jerry is.
Yes, he cries at the voice.
Great show yesterday with his daughter Cassie.
Yes, she's beautiful, beautiful girl.
Yeah, he didn't get the looks off him, did she?
I think it was a mum.
Oh, definitely. It was Bob.
Bob, that's it. A Bob. So, but yes, Jerry's a lovely man. We like Jerry as well. Yeah.
Everybody loves Jerry. They'll be making the film
this whole community on Facebook has kept us going, to be honest, because as a carer, you're very insular. And without Facebook to keep me into the outside world and to talk and get support, I would have been lost. Facebook kept me going through everything. And it still does. So, look, John.
It's a shame that I can't help you, though, which is always like to.
That's on holiday. We found a great holiday company. Could I say the name of them?
I can't remember.
Limitless Travel.
Oh, right, yeah. I've seen them advertised. Are they good?
They are amazing.
They're good,
amazing. Angus, who started the company, he used to go travelling a lot. And when he was in his 20s, he got muscular dystrophy diagnosed. And he realised that travelling for disabled people just was not in a good place. So he started his own company. So we have coach trips in this country, but they do go abroad. We haven't managed that yet, but maybe one day. We've been to Scotland a few times, and we've been down to Blackpool with them. And you can get John's chair on the coach. There's carers on the coach, and carers to help. You can get a care package, and they can't do enough for you. I can't praise this company enough.
Brilliant.
And without them, we wouldn't have got on holiday anywhere, because I wasn't brave enough. I had to pick my confidence up as well. So they enabled me to do that, to get on holiday with John.
But it's hard work, isn't it, for you? I mean, I know you've had problems with the care company because you can't keep getting him to bed every night.
Yeah. I've got 2 slip discs in my back, and if they go and my back goes, who's going to help John? So I get care at night time to try and save my back. But if there's any sickness or holiday where they just can't come, there's nobody to take the place. So I have had to put John to bed quite a few nights. I can manage about 3 nights, and then my back starts to play up. So I'm trying to save me so I can look after John longer, help John. But as a care company, they don't see you as human beings, really. I must say, the carer we've got today, Keith.
Apart from as child to see the
Yes,
human being.
Keith is amazing. He comes every Wednesday and Friday, so and helps John, and he's amazing. But if you get a good one, hang on to them.
Yeah, I've got a good one.
Yeah.
And, you know, I couldn't let anybody shower me first, but then
No.
I used to only want to be showered by a male. But of course, there's not many males, and I used to have somebody from university. Of course, when he went back to university, I either got to wait 6 months or bite the bullet and let a woman help me.
I can understand, you know, John didn't want a woman at first. He didn't want nobody to shower him. He just didn't want to shower. And he didn't for a while. But then we got a really good carer before Keith. And he kind of made him have a shower.
Yeah.
He told him it would be okay.
Pushes him.
He kind of, I wouldn't say he pushed him into the shower, but he didn't give him a lot of choice. So after that first shower, John could see that he was going to be safe. We've just got a new shower chair today, as it happens. We've been out without a shower chair since June. So we've had to wait all this time to get a new shower chair. So John can have his first shower since June next week.
So Sasha Rose Palmer says, John, blow me a kiss and give us a pout. Love
John,
you
blow
both.
Sasha a kiss. Give her a pout. Sasha is my friend Dawn Taylor. I worked at the theatre with Dawn, and she had a stroke a few years ago. She was in her 40s, no, 50s. She might be late 40s, early 50s.
Wasn't that old?
And she had a stroke. She had a hemorrhage right on the top of her head, right on the very top, and it was very deep. And we honestly thought we were going to lose Dawn. She was in a coma for quite some time.
Once you're in a coma,
but she fought. She fought, that girl. She's amazing. I think all stroke survivors are amazing. They're my heroes because of what you have to go through to learn life again, to learn to live again.
You're my hero.
John's just saying I'm his hero. That's nice. Thank you, John.
All our partners are, you know, my wife is my angel.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
So can we talk about this picture, please? I love this picture.
Is this what?
He's going to put a picture of John. He'll be looking for it. Trying to find a picture that I sent.
All right.
I can get you there. It goes like that, you see. There. Blow Sasha another kiss away. We'll wait. See how. Who's that, John?
The cat.
Oh, two BBs.
Yeah.
That's our family photograph. When John woke up out of a stroke, the first thing he asked for was a kitten. I don't know where that came from. He just kept asking for a kitten. So when he came home, I said, you will have to look after the kitten. So I bought some tomato plants. And I said, if you go out every day and water these tomato plants, look after them, next year you can have a kitten. And he did. He went out and he watered them, cared for them, pruned them. And then when he came, we had the tomatoes. And I said, you've done well with those, you can have a kitten. Okay. At first, we were looking for a dog because I thought that might be easier than a cat, and it would get us out for Corelli on the big black one's Corelli, and the little one is Lemony. So we got Corelli instead of a dog, and he loves Corelli, don't you?
I love dogs as well.
He loves Corelli.
Love me, don't they?
And Corelli is John's mate. And he never leaves his side, really.
Not well.
A good cat, isn't he? Good friend.
Remember the bedroom that was getting done? It came into the bedroom, sat by the bed, wouldn't move.
It wouldn't move from you, would he?
No.
So
Was it good?
I think Mike might have disappeared. Are you there, Mike?
Boredom.
I think he was putting the picture up. It's got a bit. There we go. So, are you back?
Yeah. What's your favourite West End show?
Me, I saw Les Miserables for the first time last year, and when the orchestra started, I just had tears. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and
Chicago's mine.
it was an amazing show. I'd waited a long time to see it,
Chicago's
and
mine.
it was incredible. So good, I saw it twice in 1 week. But that's one of my favourite ones I've seen.
I was
And
lucky
John,
to do it with my youth.
John
days.
liked, which one's John?
Chicago.
John liked Chicago. That's his favourite. And I think
So
that could be
those
doing,
half-naked ladies.
yes, that's, I think I was going to say, that's probably be to do with the costumes. And we were in the front row for that. And John was just in awe, I shall say. But we do go to the theatre quite a lot. We like the theatre. Obviously not this year, but we do like the theatre and we do go. I worked in the theatre 20 years, so
What
I'm a
did you
huge
do?
fan of live performance.
Did you carry the ice cream?
Yes, I did. I was an ice cream, and they were heavy. I should have said no, I was on the stage, but yes, I was a frustrated thespian. But yes, I carried the ice creams, and they were heavy in pantomime time. They have it soft now. They have things on every floor. We had to carry them from the basement right up to the gallery.
Hard life.
It was very hard, but a fantastic life. Very social life.
And John, what did you do for a living?
Electrician.
You have to speak up a little bit, John.
Work for electricity board.
Did you hear that, Mike?
No, sorry.
No. Can you say it a bit louder, John?
Work for electricity board.
Electricity board.
Yeah, I was an electrician.
Sparky.
Yeah.
Yes. So you were quite handy around the house, weren't you?
I was.
John had to stop working at 35 when he had all his heart attacks, and he did try and go back to work, but it was just too much, wasn't it? Like,
It was too much.
you know, doing under floorboards and things, it was just too much for his heart. So he actually had to stop working. But he did have, I'm jumping around here a little bit, but he did have a defibrillator put in for a fast heartbeat. And when he went back to the gym one day, because John went to the gym every day for hours and hours before his stroke. And he went back to the gym one day, and the defibrillator went off 10 times. It tried to shock him.
It did shock us.
10 times. And the doctors wouldn't say outright, but they did in a roundabout way say that they thought that had disrupted the blood flow, and that could have caused the stroke. It may have caused a blood clot. So they don't know for sure what caused the stroke, but it was very shortly after the defibrillator went off 10 times. So we think that's what happened with John.
They wouldn't admit it, would they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
had
can
a heart attack, and then 3 days later, after coming out of hospital, I had a stroke.
Yeah, they seem connected, heart and stroke.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's Sasha Rose Palmer, Gordon Taylor, Hiya Mummy, Dawn Taylor.
yeah, that's my friend Dawn. So when we went to see Les Miserables, Sasha is very good with Dawn, and she took Dawn to the theatre. So the four of us met up. So Dawn was my best friend at the theatre, and I had Dawn and John both in wheelchairs, and that was very emotional for me to see them both like that, and to just try and figure out what had happened. You know, it was very emotional to see my best friend and my husband both with strokes, and I was thinking, am I to blame because of both of them? I thought, have I stressed them so much? But
And
just coincidence.
How's Dawn now?
Dawn is she's doing really well. She's still in a wheelchair. I think did I send you a picture of John and Dawn?
I
I don't
don't
know if you
think
kept
so.
it. No. In the theatre there was a picture. But Dawn is doing well. She's still in the wheelchair. She still has to be hoisted. She's not walking. But she can get communication across, which is good. Yeah, it's a different, obviously a different kind of, all strokes are different. All survivors are different. You know, they're all individual. So she keeps asking if John's walking yet, because she knew John like when he had his stroke and she hadn't had a stroke. So she's trying to compare her and John. But I said you can't. You know, it's just totally different. You'll do it in your own time, as John will do it in his time. But she's doing really well. And
Sorry, I'm trying to find that picture.
it's okay. And Ian is her carer. Her husband Ian is her carer. So we all worked at the theatre at the same time. But it wasn't easy seeing them both like that. I think stress plays a lot on having a stroke as well. Stress, because Dawn was very stressed at the theatre. She started the same as me, carrying ice creams.
Thanks very much.
And she worked her way up, and she was kind of second in command at the theatre, and she was very stressed. And we think that may be why Dawn had a stroke.
It's one of the biggest things, stress.
Yeah, stress. But Dawn has left a kind of, not a legacy because she's still here, but Dawn started for disabled people in the theatre, because if you went into a normal audience, you did have audience members that complained about noises of disabled people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very nice. So Dawn started, I'm sure Sasha will remind me of the name of it. Sasha will remind me of the name of I want to say quiet performance, but that's not the right name. So the companies and Dawn kind of got together, and what they do, it's a relaxed, John's just reminded me, it's the relaxed performance. So they leave the lights half up. You know, the lights are not totally dark. There's no noise. The lights, the flashing lights are all left out as well. It's just a very relaxed performance for disabled people. So it was lovely to see. We went to see Shrek the musical, relaxed performance, and it was lovely to see a theatre full of disabled people just enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
And just not feel that they shouldn't make a noise. They could make noises. They could shout out. They could do anything. And they were just so relaxed, and that was a lovely atmosphere that afternoon. And I think there should be more done for disabled people in the theatres.
Definitely.
Yeah. But that's Dawn started that. That was her idea to do a relaxed performance.
I will
And she
find the
did
picture and put it on my Facebook page. So apologies for not being able to find it.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. So she did leave something in the theatre that will be ongoing when we all come back after this lockdown.
Yeah, I'm determined to get back on the stage. I may be
Yes.
in a wheelchair, but hey, I can dress up in a frock in a
Yeah.
wheelchair.
You could be a Dalek, or yeah, you can certainly you can certainly build around the wheelchair to make a costume.
I won't be able to have as many costume changes. I can remember having 14 in my last one.
Wow. And was that the panto?
Yeah, I'm going to try and play it in a minute again, see whether
Yeah.
people can see it. So, shall I try now and then you can see it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I can see you.
Okay.
Yes. He's going to play the panto performance. What's that song of? That's mine for the pantomime. Sing on, Mike.
On Main Street, it's what you want, ear to ear. I know from head to toe.
That's Mike singing. That's amazing, Mike. Amazing.
Did you see it?
No, we couldn't see it, but we could hear you singing. Yeah, but that's amazing. You will get back on stage and do that.
I'm still learning how to do this so I can upload video clips.
Yeah.
Right, we're almost coming to the end. Can you tell me any parting words, please?
As a carer,
Yeah.
I would say just go from your heart. There are lots of professionals who have no idea how you live. None. Social workers, OTs, you know, they try and give you advice, but they have no idea how you live. So just use your heart, follow your heart, and do what you think is right.
And join communities like this.
Yeah. I've had lots of wrong advice for John, wrong equipment for John that I've had to send back. And because I worked in a special school, I was there for nearly 10 years. I used a lot of my knowledge from there with John. So as much as when John had a stroke, it was a nightmare. I was in a nightmare. I could use my knowledge from the special school. It was just the special needs children, but on a bigger scale. So I used the physio and the OT work I'd known. So I would say just as a carer, use your heart and you do right what you think is
Can
there
I just
for
say,
your partner.
is it Dawn Taylor, your best friend?
Yes.
She says, inspirational, insightful, love this love, you darling. I can't do it in a Geordie accent. Sorry.
In a Geordie accent. Oh, that's I love you, Dawn. I love you, Dawn. And you're my hero with John. You're so strong. Very, very strong.
Anybody for ice cream?
Put that camera down. Camera's not allowed.
You
The
have to
funniest
kick
one.
anybody out for talking loud.
We used to. The funniest one was the Rocky Horror Picture Show. When we had that live, there were water pistols. You had to try and get the water pistols off them, and you ended up soaking that night. They would squirt you with the water pistols. But that was the funniest one, that we had to try and control the audience. But other than that, it was rattling sweets in plays.
So Brad
So
says, awesome show, Mike and Janice and John.
Oh, thank you, Brad. I've
That's
really
it.
enjoyed it. Actually, I've really enjoyed chatting, Mike.
Well, thank you. I know you're a bit nervous.
I was. I was.
But I'd like to thank you and John. You've made
Thank
my
you.
day. So
Oh, thank
John.
you. John, you can say bye-bye to Mike.
Thank you, John.
You made my day.
And thank you for all my fans out there, because I am a global sensation.
You are.
Even
And
though
rightly so, Mike.
even though we're in a global pandemic, you know, I'm still here and I'm still fighting. And so God bless you both. Love you.
You are.
And
Bless you, Mike. Bye-bye.
see you next
Thank
Wednesday.
you.
Bye.
Bye. See you Wednesday.